very special. We're here at the Melia Resort Hotel in Celebration, Florida. This is a Walt Disney World Good Neighbor hotel, so it comes with many of the perks that Walt Disney World hotels come with. And tonight we're here for a very special intimate wine tasting experience called Global Classics of the Sommelier. I'm not extremely knowledgeable about wines, but I really do enjoy learning and tasting. We're going to be exploring wines from Spain, and I'll tell you more about it as we get into the event. So, if you're ready to learn and taste with me, let's go. This is a really cute hotel. They've got a nice pool, they've got this outdoor bar, an indoor bar, some restaurants. Meliá Orlando is an official Walt Disney World Good Neighbor hotel. It's really close to Disney World, Universal, SeaWorld. It's also dog friendly, so that's something really important to know. What being a Walt Disney World Good Neighbor hotel means is that they're all AAA approved. They meet Disney standards for quality and service. There's a guest services desk to help you with your Disney vacation planning and purchasing tickets. You have access to Disney resort information. Good Neighbor hotels also offer shuttle transportation to the Disney parks. It looks like the event will be taking place on the second floor, so let's head up. It's a really pretty stairwell and a nice design up here in the lights. The second floor event space is very, very pretty. The event is from 7 to 9 p.m. I actually had a wonderful friend drop me off, and he's gonna pick me up at 9 just to make sure I had a ride, because I'm not sure like exactly what is gonna take place. And Uber is also another option, or staying here at the hotel, which I did consider, and I think I will in the future, but I don't have a room for tonight. As of now, who knows, I may book one, but yeah. This is an intimate experience, and the table looks like it's set for 10 here. Looks like we'll be doing quite a bit of learning tonight, which I am always up for. I'll add links for information about this event. There are a few more upcoming dates. Again, it's a very limited, intimate experience, and it's actually extremely affordable for what it is, so I'll add that info in the description. I'd like to introduce our wine expert for this evening, Rafael. Nice to meet you, sir.
Nice to meet you. And yeah, I'm excited about being here tonight. We're going to have some great wines from Cataluña. This is the second one, less of the same group. What I find though, that even though it may be the same wines as last time, it's going to be completely different. I know already it's going to be even better than the first one.
Oh, wonderful. And Mr. Delgado is a sommelier, a wine storyteller, a Spanish wine scholar, an expert, and a stand-up gentleman. I'm excited to learn and have fun with you tonight. Thank you. We're starting out with a charcuterie sampling. We've got cheese, meat, fruit, nuts, a lovely mix, and our first drink that I think we're going to sample in just a moment. The first tasting is Canals and Moon.
It's cava, sparkling wine from Spain. It's a reserva.
Appearance and color, pale yellow tone with smooth pearly bubbles that form numerous ribbons and an everlasting ring on the glass. The aroma is pleasantly fresh, varietal, and floral.
Well, the best thing that we can do right now is for tasting, but this one we're going to drink. All right? So salud.
Salud.
Salud. Too many more?
Did I? Sorry.
Yeah.
We started out with a refreshing, sparkling white Cava Reserva to toast and sip as we began the discussion of wines from Spain and different types of Cava, and specifically wines from the northeast region of Spain, Cataluña. Thank you.
So wine things are opinion. There's some facts. There's a lot of opinions.
So you see this says Reserva that's aged for over 15 months. If it just says Cava, it's aged for over 9 months. And if it says Cava Gran Reserva, it's aged for over 30 months. And we're talking about the like peach and apple and champagne smells. We're on to number 2 now, Ramblas Reals, and we're talking about the steps of tasting wine. So that first glass we had was for drinking, and now we're going to start tasting.
So what I'm serving right now is a white wine. It is also from Cataluña. We know that already because that's what we came here to do.
Okay, chest, chin, nose. So can you smell it from your chest?
From your body?
Yes, yes I can.
Definitely from here. And if I put the
It's
nose,
fruity. And then chin. Oh, yes. Very fruit. And then nose.
Now, what we call them common grapes.
Right. does not smell like grapes. Almost like grassy too, right? Everyone's sense of smell is different. Hold it by the stem here. And which way do we swirl? Right or left? Now we can sip. I'm almost getting like some vanilla. Is that right? Am I just imagining that? So the last step, the spit, is for when you're trying a lot of wines in a day. Thankfully, we don't have to do that. We can actually drink each glass.
So, we were talking about the grape France, they have a grape.
The next tasting is the Belmont Blanc.
So the higher elevation is going to contribute to more acidity.
Oh, okay.
And also the thickness of the skin of the grape.
Thickness of the skin of the grape.
So everything that is harvested together is the same vintage.
The 3 G's of wine tasting. Yes, that's a very fun way. Grapes, ground, so weather and climate, and guy gal, so the people. Now we're talking about monks and winemaking, which I find very interesting. I studied religious studies and I read quite a bit about monks and winemaking, and I find it really interesting. The straw color, it's white and bright, no bubbles. Bright, yes, bright, clean swirl. Yeah, nuts, vegetables. It's less kind of grassy than the last one.
Science still doesn't know exactly why. There are some things that they do that are very strange. They take the horn of a cow and they fill it with manure, and then they bury it on the ground.
Huh.
And but basically what they're doing is creating fertilizer, right?
Right, so like enriching the soil.
Sometimes they play music to the. I doubt that is this music. I'm just saying. Possibly something a little bit more relaxing. But then it helps to grow better quality wine.
I just learned a new term, eye-opening. It's got a smell and then the taste is unexpected. So it's got some citrus in there. It's eye-opening. The next tasting is Harmonic Rose. To elaborate this rosé wine, we follow the traditional method of rosé wine's production. The contact of the must or the wine with its skin is made to extract coloring matter from the skins, components of the most of the extract, and the aromatic and taste potential of the grape. Oh wow, so this is new in the Florida market, just brought in 3 weeks ago. A rosé.
It was actually sold out on the second day.
Oh wow. Oh.
It is beautiful.
Yes, it is a beautiful bottle.
We look for wines that are family independent companies, family owned whenever possible, and they create specific wines that are traditional or unique to one area. The traditional way of doing a rosé, and this is the way that this is made, is maceration. Basically, you put the grapes to let the color come out. The color comes from the skin.
Skin of the grapes.
Most grapes, not all, inside they're white, right?
Right.
There's only a few ones that are cultivated grapes that inside are red as well. So this area of the world, France, Italy, Spain, have been making wines, Greeks, Etruscans, even before the Romans came in. And the Romans are blamed or credited with the proliferation of wine in the world. It's a better quality wine. It's not necessarily true.
Oh.
Because Pinot Noir is very light.
I don't smell a lot at chest.
I get a lot of red, bright, fresh fruit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Not so much at chest, right? It's not as like
aromatic
at chest, but at chin you can start to pick it up. It's light. The rosé goes very well with nuts and cheese. I mean, all the wines do, but it goes really well with nuts. It's like a very smooth, earthy kind of taste. It doesn't taste like a typical rosé at all. I would actually be the person to say I don't like rosé if someone asked, but that was delicious. It was a lot smoother. It didn't taste as acidic or sharp, sort of, as a regular rosé. It wasn't overly sweet. It was very smooth, very like with like a salad in the middle of the afternoon. Okay, we're moving on. Next wine. The next wine is the Lexus One Crianza 2017. The Terra Alta designation of origin is in the southwest of Tarragona, bounded by the mountains and the Ebro River. This red wine is made of Syrah and Cabernet Sauvignon grapes.
Many times wines have sediment, right? And you want to make sure you take sediment out. Now I know that this wine doesn't have much sediment, so I am not putting the traditional candle or light under it to look under it. I know that it just needs a little bit of aeration.
He's decanted the wine, even though it does not have sediment. Give it a nice swirl. Gracias.
Of Cataluña. It gets Mediterranean on one side. It is high altitude. Are you still here?
Here on the screen we're looking at the regions that each wine is from. This one from Terra Alta, again, so that means high land. Terra means land, Alta means high, but it's the southernmost denomination of origin in Catalonia. So getting ready to try our first red of the tasting, Lexus One Crianza 2017. Okay, good, there's two more.
When you look at a wine, how it looks, a little bit of how it's going to taste. The way he looks at it, so
nothing to choose.
Because
it smells so good.
It's a little lighter in taste, and it actually it has that real.
It smells like a cozy fireplace. I don't know.
No, if you saw the bottle, you can see what it is. There's one of the ones Anyway, so yeah, 5 years. So it was released.
The next wine is Slates of Belmont. This harvest was done by hand and put in boxes. Once these grapes arrived at the winery, a second selection of grapes took place. After that, a first maceration was done at 5 degrees Celsius in stainless steel tanks for 3 days. Must was fermented at a controlled temperature during 26 and 28 degrees Celsius for 30 days with a daily micro-oxidation and rakic.
So slates of Belmont right here.
Strong. Deeper and richer.
Should I let's play to see if we can figure out what grapes are in this one.
We're getting an extra wine that's not on the list, so I'm going to try to get the info of what it is. Obviously, I can't show you the entire lecture and everything that's happening. I'm just showing you snippets to get a feel for the experience, but it is so wonderful.
A lot more. The first time when I met Matt, so that's how it works.
Oh, that's a different one. Opening the bottle. So that's how it works.
But yeah, this one is a very different kinds of Priora. It's a very traditional type of Priora. I love the ladybug.
Oh, I love that too. So
So
cute.
the ladybug reminded me of Vega. That's why I had to bring this one in.
Love it.
The ladybug.
And look at how
I have to
much
say that I know
darker
more
red it
about
is.
this now than I ever-
See, it's like definitely like a deep, deep purple. There's like some blue in there. There's also the lights off the ceiling that add some blue, but
So Terras del Priora is another word related to mountains.
comparing here. Oh, that is so like deep and rich and warm.
They're different, right? Traditional.
I don't know. Their drums just really good. It's almost like as we move through here, the Lexus One Crianza, the Belmont, and then the off-menu one, they get like deeper and richer and warmer. So we're talking about smelling and tasting the land and the people, the rugged area, the mountains, the winds. I find that so beautiful and poetic. The extra wine that we got, the Serras del Priorat, I think we all agree is incredibly delicious. It tastes like sitting by a fireplace in a cabin in the mountains, just absolutely warm and scrumptious. And the final wine, the Solitera, comes from selected vineyards with a low production whose grapes are controlled by manually harvest cluster by cluster with a careful selection process. After harvest, the grapes are placed into tanks to perform alcoholic fermentation, remaining the grape juice in its skin in maceration for 24 hours, followed by malolactic fermentation with controlled temperature. This wine was aged in French oak barrels for 12 months. Finally, the wine was matured in the bottle. Solitera is a wine of great finesse, typical of calcareous soils with a little water retention. Solitera, the sun, the sol. It's got a sun on the bottom. This is the drink of the sun. We should be tasting sunshine.
It actually, the alcohol stays on that white edge of the wine, and you don't feel it as much.
Well, there you go.
It also is better at bringing out the fruit, like in Pinot Noir. I think that all the
This glass shape now actually contributes to the flavor, and everyone is remarking on the unique smell of this. I even heard someone say sandalwood, so let's do chest, chin, nose. Very interesting. It smells almost like an incense. It's like very earthy, very sweet. Almost like a brandy. I can like smell the alcohol. That tastes like alcohol. Complex flavors. Solitera here. We're also learning about the families that create each of these wines, the lands, where they're created. Hand-picked grapes aged 12 months.
So it's how that combination of the grapes those decisions make the wine taste.
It's almost like it's powerful, really. You can almost taste the oak too. There's a very distinct oaky taste. This is very different than the rest. Tannins, big tannins. Of course, once we tasted all 8 wines, it was time to chat with everyone at the table, have some laughs, and get some refills of our favorites. This portion of the evening was so much fun and something so unique, a really special experience, something a lot of us have not been able to do for a long time. Just the amount of wines that you're able to try, the interaction, the learning, and then being able to stay at the table, try the refills of what's left. Of course, they continued to refill the charcuterie plate during the entire event, and we were able to linger at the end and just chat and make friends, which was probably my favorite part, although the whole thing was my favorite part. Our wonderful host for this evening from Consortium Wine and Spirits. Melia also has a beautiful lagoon pool. Wow, the humidity is fogging up my lens. Hold on a second here. There we go. The beautiful lagoon pool has a central island. It's open late. I would love to do a stay here soon, so if you're interested in me doing a stay here, let me know. because I would love to show you more of the Walt Disney World Good Neighbor resorts, do a resort tour, do a room tour. And now that my lips are stained with red wine and I've tasted different wines from Cataluña, Spain, my lens is fogging up. I think that means it's time to close this video out. Tonight's event has concluded. It was a wonderful event. I honestly was not sure what to expect. It was a mixture of learning and fun and camaraderie, laughter, learning a little bit about history, a little bit about science, a lot about taste and deliciousness and feelings. Really, wine tasting is a lot about just like emotion, like feeling, like the feelings and the memories that different scents and flavors evoke. And it's very different for each person. It's really an interesting, it's really more of an art than a science. And obviously, if you choose to do this event, you can choose to swirl and spit, so you do not need to drink all of the wines that are on the menu, but everybody at the tasting did. We wanted to drink them all. They were delicious, and knowing that I have a ride home definitely influenced that decision. Again, as I stated at the beginning of the video, I'm not extremely knowledgeable about wine. It's just something that I find really interesting and want to learn more about. So I will definitely delve into this wine tasting world with time. I hope that I learned a little bit more tonight, but I think to me the biggest takeaway from this evening is that wine is very subjective, like all taste, because your sense of smell, your sense of taste are tied to memories and emotions. So it's very much based on like your own personal experience, your own memories, just like kind of dream interpretation. And when I taste a warm, delicious red wine and I equate that to like sitting by a campfire in a cabin in the mountains, is that a memory that I have? Maybe. Actually, I have done things like that. There is still a lot of technical terminology that I have to learn. There's a lot we learned tonight, and obviously I can't present to you the whole lecture here. I can't give you everything that we learned. You're gonna have to experience it yourself. So if you're really interested in tasting a bunch of delicious wines, eating delicious charcuterie, talking to lovely people, laughing, having fun, meeting a wine expert, storyteller, sommelier, that is just, their heart's in it, and they're a wonderful person. And I actually feel like I made a lot of friends tonight, and I definitely recommend this event to you. Again, I'll leave the information in the description below. I thank so much Melia for inviting me out tonight. There's a lot of fun coming up. I like to give you a ton of variety on this channel. I like to show you comic conventions, Disney World, Universal, theme parks, attractions, roadside attractions, unique hidden gems, cool things to do that nobody else is talking about. If you're new here and you like this sort of thing, learning about what's going on in Orlando and also anywhere else I visit, because I travel all over the world, UK, Europe, all over the US, a ton of places, and I'm always looking for those like hidden gems and cool things and cool places to go. So once again, thank you so much for joining me. I'm sending you all a ton of love. I'll see you for the next video, and until then, as always, stay enthused. Bye.